Hey everybody, I'm Katallina, and today we're here to talk about episode 7 of Mission Yozakura Family. I gotta tell ya, seeing Taiyo all tied up with a gag in his mouth and candles lit underneath of him was not on my anime bingo card for this year, and yet that is absolutely what we got as one of the scenes in this week's episode, and it was incredible. Kyoichiro totally was not taking it lying down that Taiyo had dishonored the family in some way, and he wasted absolutely no time in taking advantage of this mishap of behavior and decision making and activity to make it so that Taiyo was not going to be having a good time. Of course, Matsumi did not like this, and neither did Nanao, so that was interesting and they got him out of it, but of course, Taiyo being Taiyo, he wanted to find a way to make up for this transgression and this failure, and that is where we got the bulk of this week's story. One of the coolest thing about the story that we did get this week is that we get to see a bit more of Nanao's character, which was really interesting because he was one of the ones where I wasn't immediately drawn in. His design didn't really grab me, but having seen more about who he is as a character and what his deal is, he's become somebody I'm much more interested in with that new information. The idea that he is actually seemingly younger than Taiyo, even though he's so huge, and that he was going around calling Taiyo Big Brother was really interesting, and I thought that was very endearing. It was also very fascinating to see what his abilities were like. The idea that he can actually nullify different poisons and pharmaceuticals in general was shocking, especially, I mean, that was crazy enough when we heard that, and then when I started hearing him calling Taiyo Big Brother, I was like, oh shoot, because it seems like he's actually just some kind of kid or something, which also helped me understand something that went down in that part of the episode at the beginning where the rescue mission took place, which was the idea that Taiyo actually needed to come and help and get him. The fact that Nanao didn't actually have a plan for what was going to happen when he went unconscious, and that he called Taiyo at the last minute. I was like, aren't you a little old for that kind of non-pre-planning? But now that we understand that he's actually almost more of a kid, that's wild. The last thing we need to talk about, of course, is the two new characters that we got introduced to in this episode, who were Sui and Oga. I hope I got their names right. I thought they were very interesting, and I thought they were a fascinating addition. I hope that we'll actually see them from time to time as side characters because I did really like them. I thought it was really funny how Oga almost fanboyed over Taiyo, and that part was really amusing to me. And on the other hand, Sui is so calm and collected and has it together. I wonder what exactly it was that he was polishing at the end there. Was it somebody's tombstone? Was there somebody he actually cares about and is vulnerable about? Because he seemed like somebody who had it so completely together, and yet who was so absolutely ruthless and cold and everything, that even if he's a great spy, you'd wonder why would someone want to live that life if that's the way that they feel about things. The idea that he was so eager and willing to just kill Nanao rather than finding out what had happened to the thing that Nanao swallowed, and that he was just going to do that with Nanao being unconscious, was insane. And then his decision that he thought he was just going to single swipe Taiyo out of existence because he was starting to find him a nuisance. Fortunately, that did not happen because Taiyo did actually deal with the situation and did make enough improvement that the guy was like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't just bump you off. But that kind of utilitarian mind view is something I always find really disturbing and really scary. I love villains, but that is something in any character, good or bad, that I always see red flags around, because when somebody thinks in very utilitarian terms, they are capable of doing practically anything, and that can be a really bad thing. As far as Taiyo himself and the stuff that went on with him in this episode, I really did feel for him because the poor bugger ended up getting put into the magazine at the end as the Yozakura Family perv spy, and that's Kyoichiro, not Taiyo. The idea that Taiyo was so persistent in wanting to improve the name of the clan and everything after making the mistake was very endearing, but it also highlights the fact that Taiyo has so much more left to learn. And I really like the fact that they kind of balance in the show between having episodes where Taiyo shows off that he is competent, he is capable, and he's going to improve, but also having episodes where we take the 2 steps back and we see the fact that he is still learning and growing and that he is new at this, and that he's not going to be perfect at every turn. It prevents him from becoming a Gary Stu, and that's really important given the way this show has been set up and the fact that he is absolutely new to all of this. Anyway, overall I super enjoyed this episode. I really loved getting to learn more about Nanao, and as I said, I really enjoyed the two side characters. Kyoichiro actually kind of annoyed me in this episode. I mean, I get that this whole thing is his shtick, but whatever. And I kind of laughed at Matsumi going to Taiyo at the end there, "You know I'd love you no matter what," and it's like, yes, Matsumi, we know. But I mean, what do you expect from two lovebirds? Anyway, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you have a favorite part? I'd love to know, so feel free to leave a comment below. Talk to you later. Bye!